Hello guys, welcome to my first series of the LinkedIn videos in which we will talk about the analysis of your profile with the social selling index analyzer and the so-called front end, which means that's the part, how does your LinkedIn profile look like when I see it for the first time. So let me first share your screen with me, please. And here we go. This is the so-called LinkedIn front end. So here you see the LinkedIn URL, background picture, so-called headshot, my name and headline, and all the other stuff below. But before I'm going to talk about the front end, please let me explain you the social selling index first. And on the social selling index part, we can nicely explain how does LinkedIn work. So what is the current social selling index? Your social selling index is something like Google search, SEO on Google search, so search engine optimization on Google search. That means if you optimize your website in a way that it comes high up in the search when people are searching for some term, this is the same, but applied to your LinkedIn profile. That means the higher is this number, which in my case is now 84 out of 100. The higher your profile will show up in a search when somebody is searching for a professional with your experience. This is it. And what do these other number mean here? The top 1% industry SSI rank and top 1% network SSI rank. So those numbers are inversely proportional to this number. That means that the higher is the current social selling index, the lower is your top number. And a decent social selling index, which has some visibility, starts at 60%. Which will bring you probably being the top of 3, 4, 5% of your industry, which gives you already a decent visibility. Let's focus on the industry rank, because the network rank is not that important, because people don't search for people based on network of other people. They search people mostly by industries. So, and then we see that the current social selling index is composed out of 4 components. This is your professional brand, find the right people, engage with insights, and build relationship. What do all those mean? So, what is your professional brand? Your professional brand means the way your profile looks like when I see it for the first time, plus how are you creating content which is adding value to your community. So this is your professional brand, and it's composed of 2 subcomponents. Find the right people. This is a little bit weird component because you cannot influence this component directly, but this component is growing when the other 3 components are growing. So you can directly influence only the first one, the third one, and the fourth one. And the second component, the find the right people, I call this component the Trojan horse of LinkedIn. Why Trojan horse? Because in the definition of LinkedIn, the right people are those people who are visiting your profile on their own behalf, and you see them only if you have the premium version. So it's something like, hey, are you interested? Who is visiting your profile? So pay for it. Let's spend first some thoughts on the social selling index and why is the premium version important. I do not get any royalties from LinkedIn, but I strongly recommend every person who is actively searching for a job to purchase the premium version. Why? There are three main advantages of the premium version. The first one is that you get access to the fantastic LinkedIn training. If you are part of a big company, like for example, Novartis or Roche, you probably have the access per default. But as soon as you leave this big company IP addresses, you will lose it. So on the LinkedIn Learning, you can learn almost everything, hard skills, soft skills, everything is there, and the teachers are really great. Second, You see who is visiting your profile, which might be a great resource of new contacts. Because if somebody is visiting my profile, I find the person interesting, I have probably a very easy catch for a new connection. I write them, hey XY, thank you very much for your interest in my profile. Should we connect? Best regards, Václav. And in most of the cases, the person is going to confirm my connection request because the person was already watching my profile. And the third and the most important quality is that you have the ability to send every person that is on LinkedIn a direct connection message. Because the so-called naked connection messages, if the person doesn't know you, the probability of being accepted is pretty low, because people don't know what's your motivation, why would you like to connect with them, what do you have with them in common. And we will talk about that in a bigger level of detail in the video about networking. Let's focus on the other. So what does engage with insight mean? As you can see below, most of the people have very low score, 3% on the engage with insights. And the engage with insight part means interaction with other people on LinkedIn, which means commenting and reacting on other people's content. And most people didn't realize this functionality on LinkedIn yet. And this is the quick win, or the classical low-hanging fruit. If you engage with other people's contents, you do first the comment, then you tag the person, and then later you press the like. This will LinkedIn evaluate as the most value-adding activity. So if you do the classical drive-by liking, from time to time you click like somewhere, you have like 1%. If you do a comment from time to time, then you get like 2 to 3%. And if you tag the other person, you get for sure minimum 10% on engage with insights. And LinkedIn is as well counting the amount of messages which you are sending through the LinkedIn Messenger. And I'm a heavy user of the LinkedIn Messenger. That's why I'm having 18% here. So this is the place where you can improve in the biggest speed. So, and now the last one, build relationship. This is speaking for itself. Build relationship means how big is your LinkedIn network. And please get rid of the myth that you are connecting only with people which you know in person. LinkedIn is not Facebook. It's a professional network. And that's why you have opportunity to have up to 30,000 connections on LinkedIn compared to Facebook, where the maximum is 5,000 only. So on LinkedIn, it's not only about the quantity, about the quality of the network, it's as well about the quality. What is interesting, that those components are happily influencing each other, which means the higher is, for example, your network. And in Switzerland, you need like 1,200, 1,300 contacts to get to the 25 percentage points. So the higher is your network, the bigger, the higher is your credibility as an author. The higher is your credibility as an author, the more people see your content, which is adding to your brand. The more people see your content, the more people interact with your content, which makes the engage with insights grow. And there is a cool detail. LinkedIn is built on a principle which is called reciprocity, which means if you interact with other people's content, you will get rewarded that more other people see your content as well. And this is like a happy spiral, which is driving your social selling index up. So if we scroll down, then we see people in the industry. And if we move the cursor along the colored sections here, then we can compare our results to the results of the other people. Please don't get confused by the term sales professional. It should simply state professionals, because this tool was developed first by LinkedIn for salesperson, and they somehow never adopted this nomenclature. So it should read professional in pharmaceutical industry and whatever. Here you see if you have some changes going up or down. And this is the most important stuff. Sales Navigator is a paid tool which costs like $100 a month, and this is a free functionality of the Sales Navigator which everybody can access independent if you have a premium version or not. Okay, so this is the social selling index. You find to every on every topic which I'm discuss here, you find an article on my newsletter. So if you click on the newsletter and scroll down a little bit, you will for sure find the article to this topic. Where do I have it? Yeah. So what is the social selling index? Why is it important? If you would like to make a deeper dive into it, I'm explaining everything in my article. Now let's convert our attention to the so-called front end. So let's have a look and go to view profile. But first, let me show you the important settings of your LinkedIn profile. I think this is very, very important. Let's quickly check the settings. So I strongly recommend every person to put two-step verification on, because your LinkedIn profile is too precious that it gets hijacked by some hackers. And people on LinkedIn are in target of hackers, and a lot of people have been hacked already, and then your inbox start to sending viruses to your other colleagues. They are going to click on it, they don't like it. So please make sure that your two-step verification is on. Let's check few settings in the visibility part. So your profile viewing option should be set up in this way. Your name and headline. You can put yourself into private mode, but then people don't see you. So I think it's way better if you interact with people, if you're on the social media, that they should see us. You can put it on and off again. So this is one thing. What's important, that your share profile updates with your network is put on off. In case you rearrange your LinkedIn profile, do something with your experience that the network doesn't get alerts by accident. So put it off. If you would then like to say to the network that you have a great new job, LinkedIn is going to ask you, hey, you have this off, put it on, so you cannot miss it. And mention on tags should be on, because then people can tag you. Okay, so those are, from my eyes, the most important settings. They are much more in data privacy and so on, but those are, in my eyes, the most important ones. So let's go back to the so-called front end. And first thing what you can correct is the URL. So most of the people who started to use LinkedIn recently didn't realize that they can rewrite this portion, and they have like an ugly salad of names, of letters and numbers behind their name. How can we change it? You can go here and click on Edit Public Profile and URL. And here you see a tiny blue pencil. And if you click on the pencil, you can click into your URL and move with the cursors on your keyboard at the end of your profile, delete the part, rewrite it. And I would strongly suggest everyone that you have in your URL your position, your what are you doing. So if you are a QA manager, put there Václav minus Sulista minus QA minus manager, because then already your URL is telling people what you are doing, which is a very, very handy. And it looks way better than having there the numbers and letters. Okay, I cancel it because I don't want to change it. And LinkedIn is offering us several layers of information that we can use for our own good. First is the background picture. Human beings are visual beings. And if you have a picture here, your profile gets much more traction, because people simply would like to see pictures. So they will stop at your profile if you have a picture. Please don't use pictures of mountains unless you are a mountaineering guide. Don't use a picture of seashore or hotels unless you are a travel office. So your picture should be connected to the business you are in. If you are not that artistic, you can create some great background pictures on a tool which is called Snappa. This is very easy, and on Snappa you can get your account. You can download up to 4 pictures per week, and there's a huge collections of background pictures you can use. Then it's another one is Canva. Canva is more complex and more artistic, but more powerful as well. So if you go to Canva, you can create much more and even nicer designs. And for those who would like to outsource it, please go to fiverr.com. Go to Fiverr. Hundreds of exactly working to according your needs. So it doesn't load now at the moment, but that's the way it is. Okay, I don't want to check the below. It's okay. Okay, so let's tell I'm not a robot, and then let's come to Fiverr. Okay. Okay, it takes too long. Simply go to fiverr.com and search for LinkedIn banner, and you can get a great LinkedIn banner, 3 different proposals for up to $10. Okay, let's go back to my profile. Second is the headshot. So LinkedIn prefers headshots where the head fills out the circle and the person is friendly, laughing or smiling. It's logical that people prefer to work with people who are friendly, so make sure that your picture is a friendly smiling. It's really worth to invest in a great professional headshot, and we should change the headshot latest after 2 years or after every big change of our hairdo. We grow beard or we shave a beard. We should look like the way we look in real life when we come to the job interview, because if you look in a different way, your picture is 20 years old, then the people get a slightly unease in their bellies when you come to a job interview. Oh, this is not the person I was expecting. So it's important to have a current picture. Then it's the naming. And then you may see that I have put the emoji behind my name. Why am I doing this? So my first name and my second name get separated nicely. And second, if somebody is addressing me on LinkedIn, dear Václav Kompas, then I immediately know that this is a chatbot, because the chatbot takes the content of the first name box and uses it. That means that I can realize who is a chatbot, and it's very easy. And you will realize first then how many of the LinkedIn communications, all the advertisement, everything runs through chatbots. Okay, so this is this part. And then we come to the headline. And headline is a very, very important and very precious space, because if you don't do anything, LinkedIn puts your current position there, but you can rewrite it here. If we click here on this pencil and scroll down, here is your headline, and you have up to 200 characters for your own good. My headline is boosting your career through LinkedIn and networking, because this is exactly what I do. So think of your headline as of your shortest possible elevator pitch, and tell the world what are your skills. And there are 2 different possibilities how you can solve this. First, you can use all those important code words and put them one after the other as nomads. I am fan of the storytelling part, so I prefer to use verbs, because stories are being told by using verbs. So it could be something like, with this and that skill, I'm doing this and that. So in the moment I open your LinkedIn profile, I should immediately know, based on your headline, what are you doing? Then you have other opportunities. You can put even your URL of your website or of your company website, and you can give the link a text. It means that it doesn't show up as sulista.ch, but it shows up as boost your career, like in my case. This is here. Now, what you see here, you see the amount of my followers. Normally you don't see it. Why do you see this? And what does this mean? This is the so-called creator mode. because I am a LinkedIn content creator, and we will talk about the creator mode in the second video, when I will in deep level of detail inform you about how do we create content. Okay. Then here at profile sections, we can add profile sections. The very important one is the featured section. Featured section can emphasize what you would like to show to the people immediately. So, and it's a living document. So in my featured section, I am featuring my newest post every time. Here I have my planning calendar. So if somebody would like to make a date with me, he finds it immediately. Here's my newsletter. Here I show the people my Google reviews. Why did I convince Google to change their system to the short name Czechia and other stuff? So everything I would like to show to the people, you can put it here. In case you didn't have anything, you simply click here the plus button, and then LinkedIn tells you, okay, add a post, add a newsletter, add an article, add a link, or add media. So for example, you finished some prestigious certification, photography or diploma, and upload it. And the second function of the featured section is that it wraps up your about section very nicely and looks very optically very attractive, specifically on mobile devices. And majority of the content nowadays, as you may know, is already consumed on the mobile devices. So this is the important, so about section, add profile section, recommended, add featured. And here you would come to the featured section. And last but not least, what is important is your so-called about section. Your about section should be the place when a person that is interested in your LinkedIn profile should find all information about you in one place. For example, why should people scroll down here to see your recommendations? Because it's far too low and most people don't visit the lower part of your LinkedIn profile. So put your recommendations up there as well. So imagine it's like if you are bringing a food from the kitchen, you are not getting it dish by dish, but you take everything together and then you serve it on the table. It's the similar story. So how do I create it? I'm starting with an attractive opening sentence and put some empty lines, and then I name the pain points what people do have in their career. So sending CVs, not hearing back. In your case, you would start immediately with your skills. This could be like something like, who am I? What do I bring with me? What can you expect from me? And here you would put your most important skills at the first place. The second part of your about section should be the achievements. So if you claim you can do this and that, tell me facts and figures. What did you do? And I'm writing them from the perspective of my potential client. This is clear. That's why I write some client successes here. In your case, it should be your successes in facts and figures. So we have increased the sales by 25%. We have reduced the throughput time by factor X. I was managing a team of 50 people. I was leading a project which a sales volume of 100 million, whatever, facts and figures. And the third one are recommendations. Why recommendation? As I elaborated before, your recommendations are all hidden on the bottom of your LinkedIn profile, and recommendations are important. So put your recommendations up here, and those recommendations do not necessarily be those who you have on LinkedIn. Every recommendation letter you have, or even every sentence you remember from your last performance review, what your boss has told about you, put it there. It needs to be true, but nobody's going to challenge you. Show me where you have this. Below, find out more. So in find out more, I share all my contact data. And you will be asking, why am I sharing even my phone number? And this is a very, very important trick, because I am using Unicode text converter to emphasize stuff. So for example, I would like to emphasize supply chain word. Then I convert it, and please use this font, Matte Sans Bold. Now you can copy it and place it somewhere in your about section, which means if we do it like that, it's not a font anymore, it's a picture, it's an image, which means that the sniffing robots that are searching for data on people's profiles cannot read this. It's readable only by the human eye. So everything which I would like people see immediately, I make it in bold letters and the other stuff, but be aware if it has a backside as well. So if you convert it, then the robots cannot see it. So you need, if you would like to have supply chain there, you need to put it there twice. For example, here I have APIX, which is an important supply chain certification. So I have APIX 1 in regular letters. I have it one bolded, one for if somebody would search for me as a robot, once for the human eye. Then under the context, I have prepared a very, very short life story. So I have summarized 33 years of my experience in Switzerland into one sentence. It could be 2 or 3 sentences. Why is it storytelling? Storytelling is story selling, and people get entertained. And if people get entertained, they will continue reading. Because if you put a lot of data, it starts to be boring after a few minutes. So attention span for boring stuff is very, very short. So entertain people with something which describes your life, and you can, under it, you can add some other supportive information about you, which are not your top skill. Below, it's education. So it's all the time. What did I study? Where was it? In which year? Where? And under it, and this is definitely not mandatory or obligatory, your private part. So I share a little bit of my private site. I shared why did I ask Google for update their system to the short name Czechia, and that I'm ice hockey goaltender. So I like to open up myself a little bit, but again, it's not mandatory. But I think we are not robots, we are human beings. And if you have a hobby which is supporting your professional qualities, so if you are a strategist in finance and you play chess on a very good level, then it belongs there. And I am repeating the similar structure below as well for those people who will see even my experience section, but most people don't. I am regularly asking my customers, and 90% of the people are happy with this, what they found in the about section, and they don't go nowhere else. So let's stop the sharing here. This was the part of the front end, and all the other stuff we are going to discuss in the video number 2. That will be the content creation. How do we create content with the most and biggest possible outreach? And in the third video, we will talk about networking. How do I network with people without being perceived as a job seeker? So this was it for the first part. Thank you for watching, and looking forward to see you in the second part.